All right, good evening. Welcome to episode 12 of the Shane Fletcher Show. This is Scotty Mahan. Joining beside me is head coach AD Shane Fletcher. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
What you got, Lopez? All right, I'll announce that one.
Yeah.
All right, so you had Pewitt. Friday night. It was senior night for them. They jumped on us quick.
They did.
They jumped on us quick. We look up, it's 12-0. They had a return kickoff. They had a onside kick that they ran down and scored it. And then, guess what? Rylan Morris and the Honey Grove defense.
Yeah, we woke up.
So they said, hold my Gatorade.
Yeah.
So Rylan Morris, this would be his first full-time game being back since Marlin. He was back a little bit for the Cooper game, but this time he was back full-time. The four-star athlete would explode for 6 touchdowns. He had 78 yards passing with 1 touchdown to Dre Pat, and then we tack on 5 rushing touchdowns and carried the rock for 169 yards. The defense got settled in. I think I heard Coach Mack say this was the best he thought our defense had played all year. One play that really stuck in my head was in the third quarter. I think it was 4th and 1. And our defense bent, but they didn't break.
And, you know, those guys hadn't been stopped on quarterback sneak all year.
Yeah.
You know, we watched every film, and they were very good at it.
It was like a tush push.
Yes.
Yeah, so kind of like what the Eagles used to do. The Brahmas only had 61 yards of total offense, 68 yards passing, -7 yards rushing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good stat line right there.
We were stifling on defense.
That's what we like to see. So anytime you keep a team negative in rushing, I mean, that's a huge night. Mason Banker led the defense with 17 tackles, 6 of those being solo. 3 other Warriors who had big games on defense was Asher Price, Levi Beavers, and Boogie LaShaw. All 3 of those guys had 11 tackles. So how do you feel like the players handled being down 12-0 before even having an offensive snap?
Well, I think the pre-district schedule, being so tough helped us. And, we've kind of told the kids all year, don't blink, and now was I mad about the deal? Yes. And I told them before kickoff, I was like, guys, we're too loose. I don't think we're ready to play. And, they caught us with their guard down and run back the opening kickoff, and then they get an onside. It was beautiful onside kick. And
went right over his head.
And threw a deep ball and got down to the 1 and punched it in. We're down 12-0. But then we settled in, and it was 28-18 at half. We did throw a pick 6. But they scored 1 offensive touchdown, and that was off a deep ball they caught it in a 1-yard rush.
So was there a specific play that you felt like shifted the momentum in our favor?
No. I mean, I think, once we just kind of got – that first time we got in the end zone, and then we're like, okay, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Our defense is going to play great.
Right.
We're going to score enough. So that's kind of the way we looked at it.
So looking at the playoffs ahead, what does a game like this show you about where the team can still grow?
Oh, there's no doubt. Me and my offensive line, we had a little heart-to-heart meeting Saturday morning. I didn't think we played very well up front. But anytime you got a guy like number 5, that can get loose and make people miss, you can not play as well up front sometimes and still score.
Right. So season 4. So a lot of people break it down, season 1, season 2. I'm kind of breaking it down into 4s. You got summer.
Right.
You got preseason. You got regular season, and now the 4th season, the playoffs.
Right.
Right. How much has the mindset of this team changed since summer workouts?
This is a very hungry bunch of kids, and we had a lot of adversity we had to overcome this week, practice times and stuff like that. And by the way, our band did an outstanding job down at State. But, we had to practice at 7 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning, and then 7:30 last night. And today was kind of our only normal day.
Right.
But these kids, man, they handle it so well, and they have for years. We've been having to practice like this for years. And they last night I thought might have been one of the best practices of the year.
It looked good.
It was very good. I went to bed a happy man last night.
So do you think this team is more prepared going into the playoffs, just with having those key injuries, do you think they're more prepared than the other 2 years?
Yes, because we've had kids that's had to play roles this year that were not expected of them in August. And with that being said, now their season, so if something happens, they got to go in. It's not going to be a shock to them. They've already been there and done that.
Right. So what'd you tell your team Friday night? Once that clock hit 0, regular season's over with, trophies don't really matter anymore. What'd you tell your team Friday night?
Well, the crazy thing about the playoffs is you win or go home.
Right.
And we don't plan on going home. So.
Well, I told you before we started I want to do 6 more of these.
No doubt.
So, well, let's talk a little bit about Elysian Fields. They are the District 10 4th-place team with a record of 7-3. We're going to play them on Friday night. We'll talk a little bit about the game real quick, but we're going to play them Friday night in Maybank at Maybank Panthers Stadium. Game time is going to be 7 o'clock. Tickets can be purchased at the gate, cash only, $6 for adults, $4 for students. I believe district passes are accepted.
Correct. Senior citizen passes.
Yep. Those are accepted. Or you can purchase tickets online at maybankathletics.com/HT tickets. But the Yellow Jackets are coached by Justin Crow. He's the former offensive coordinator for Wichita Hershey. I had to look that word. Hershey. Is it Hershey?
It's Hershey.
All right. Well, I had to look it up, and it's like, all right, I got to know how to say this word.
Yeah, it's Hershey.
Okay, Hershey. There we go. And he was the passing game coordinator for DeSoto from 2018 to 2019. The Yellow Jacket teams come into the playoffs, like I said, being the 4th-place team out of District 10 with a record of 7-3. They had wins over Tenaha, Maud, Queen City, Hawkins, Union Grove, Orr City, and then they had that winner go-home game Friday night against Harleton, which they won. They got a playmaker. His name's Brandon Nunu Kennedy. He averages about 116 yards rushing per game. They throw him the ball. He averages 52.5 yards per game receiving. He's had 25 touchdowns, 63 tackles on defense. Pretty much their guy. That's their dude.
Guy. And he's a very good tackler.
So what can you tell us a little bit about the Elysian Fields Yellow Jackets, which they confuse the heck out of me. They're Yellow Jackets.
But they're orange.
There's
a lot of them in Texas.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Somebody colorblind or something?
I know, right?
Tell us a little bit about Elysian Fields.
Elysian Fields spread football team. Like I said, number 4 is their guy. Number 1, their quarterback. He can run as well. He looks like a smaller Levi. They're not a vertical passing team. They're going to try and get the ball out in the flats. Defensively, they got a big nose guard. Plays H-back on offense. He's the biggest player on their team. They don't have a ton of depth, so a lot of their kids have to play both ways. But like I said, 4 can get loose, and he's a dang good football player, and he's a very good defensive football player.
Well, that's what I was about to ask. Is he a player that we haven't seen at all this year, or is he similar to someone we've seen? Would he be more like the Finney kid from Cooper? Running,
he's more like the Marlin kids.
Got you.
Yeah, he's more like that. He's not the big, powerful, dominant back. The Finney kid's physical. He's big, physical. Those Marlin kids were kind of scat backs, and that's kind of what he is as well.
So what are going to be for the keys for victory for Friday night for a Honey Grove Warrior victory in a bi-district championship?
Take care of the football. No stupid penalties. First quarter's going to tell a lot, but we just can't beat ourselves.
So let's go down through the breakdown. I did some breakdown by numbers for this game. Both teams score over 35 points a game, with Elysian Fields scoring 35.7 points per game. Honey Grove scores 38.7. On the defensive side of the ball, that's where it's kind of different. We only give up 15 points per game. Our biggest game we had was 40-something points to Winsboro.
Right.
That's been the highest scoring game by an opponent we've had all year. They've given up 33.1. On the offensive side, both of us put up good numbers. I think we win this category averaging 376 yards per game, while they average 360. Rushing stat for this game, I feel like our number's low, but it's because Ryland's been out.
Right.
At this point with Levi running the quarterback role, passing, throwing, we're kind of split there, and we'll see that on the passing side. But we average 223.5 yards of rushing offense. They average 257.8. But like I said, that's with Levi running quarterback.
Right.
So passing game, we average 153 yards per game. They average 103. So you see the difference there. Yeah. That's where we've kind of made up for it. Well, that's going to –
Our air raid offense.
Yeah. What is it? No, what's it called? Army tank offense.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So that's going to be the breakdown on that. Let's talk a little bit about awards. We've got a little bit of area awards going on right now. Just want to recognize these games. First off, we'll get started with the Jake Shockley Weekly Awards. The Breakthrough Player of the Week is none other than Dre Pat. And I saw the excitement in your face Friday night when Ryland connected with Dre.
My dude.
On a 38-yard pass. And, how glad are you to have Dre Pat back on the football field?
When I got here 3 years ago, sitting right over there on the knee, Dre Pat was the first kid that really warmed up to me. And he was so excited. You could see the excitement in his face, especially when I said the 3 letters RPO.
Yeah.
It lit him up. And, man, me and Dre, we've been down the road together a lot through football, powerlifting, everything, So, yeah, he's my dude, and it's dang nice to have him back on the field.
So on the defensive side of the ball, gave this one to Mason Rocky Banker. He had a great night. He had 17 tackles, 6 solos, 4 of those being a tackle for loss. Just a big night for Mason on the defensive side of the ball.
No doubt.
And then the Jake Shockley MVP of the week is going to be none other than number 5, Ryland Morris. So glad to have this guy back. Man, he's so photogenic. Paige and Brandy and them took some great pictures of 5, but he accounted for 6 touchdowns, 5 by rushing, 1 passing. He had 78 yards passing, 169 yards rushing. Not just from an athletic performance standpoint, how special is it to have a guy like Ryland back on the field as well?
Well, Ryland's that kid that you don't have to motivate him. When it comes time to kick off, his motor is running hot. And if he was a horse in a pasture, you would never catch him.
No.
I mean, he just so wound up. And then when he makes a big play, he gets wound up. But seeing him, I'm proud for him.
Yeah.
Because he's wanted to come back so bad. So bad. It killed him being on the sideline those weeks. And, for him to get to come back and shine like he did right there, man, that was special.
Yep. So not only did Ryland get Jake Shockley Athlete or MVP of the Week, he also picked up some other awards. Ryland picked up the Week 11 Smoky.com East Texas Honor Roll Offensive Team, and he also picked up a nomination for the Red River Valley Athlete of the Week. Unfortunately, he didn't win that one.
What? He was way ahead last time I looked.
I'm telling you, man. We ain't living right, or we ain't voting right. I don't know. Maybe we got to start paying people to vote for us. I don't know, but he was in 3rd place a while ago when I looked before I got here.
Oh man, it's closed now, isn't it?
Yeah, it closed at 5. But we talked about it a little bit last night on the basketball broadcast. But unfortunately, he didn't win it. So let's move over to our man. This is probably my favorite part of the show: news and knuckleheads. Right.
Right.
It's my favorite part. So my first one is going to be the Auburn basketball team. I don't know if you heard about this one.
No.
But Auburn, they had a flight carrying number 11 Auburn, their basketball team, and the flight was grounded shortly after takeoff on Friday after 2 players got into a fight on board.
Oh, wow.
So this is the pilot's message. He says, we had 2 players that got into a physical altercation. Clothes were being ripped. And so they had to turn around, and they were scheduled to play on Saturday against the number 4 ranked Houston Cougars, and they get up in the air and get into a fight. Had to turn around and have
probably over a seat.
Probably, but that's some kind of knuckleheaded stuff going on right there. Next one, you probably saw this one, but Texas Tech ball boy.
I haven't watched much TV this week.
Well, Colorado safety Shiloh Sanders iced the Buffaloes 41-27 win over Texas Tech on Saturday with a 6-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown in the final minute of the fourth quarter. So what happened directly after that moment, I'm pretty sure Colorado would like to forget about it. But as Shiloh was walking back to the Colorado sideline, a Texas Tech ball boy reached out and tried to grab the ball from him. Shiloh pulled it away and then his brother, Shador, got in the ball boy's face, started threatening him, had some exchange of words. And then Deion Sanders Jr. comes up. Okay, so he's a videographer for Dad. I mean,
really?
Yeah, that's all he does is video. And then he shoves the ball boy.
Really?
All right. So, I'm pretty sure Shiloh wanted to keep the ball for a souvenir.
Sure.
And, unlike the NFL, college football teams play with their own footballs.
Right.
So I'm sure it's just a lapse of judgment there, but kind of a knuckleheaded move.
Yeah. How old was the ball boy? Is this like a kid?
Man, he looked like he was in his 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't like a little kid.
I was going to say if he's like Bo out there.
No. And then the next one, I don't really want to say it's a knucklehead, but a Southland ref got suspended for 2 games after Saturday night's game, and that was between what used to be Texas A&M Commerce, which is now East Texas A&M, and Stephen F. Austin. So he was on the mic, okay, and they declined a penalty. Well, he didn't turn his mic off.
Uh-oh.
And he dropped an F-bomb.
Oh.
And so the whole crowd heard it. I mean, I'm sitting there watching TikTok, and I see it, and I send it to Gervy. Of course, Gervy having connections, and then he sent me back. So Southland went out there and put a release out about this referee being suspended, because, I mean, they're held at the same standard, sportsmanship, as you guys are. So, well, next in the news, this one kind of shocked me. Kennesaw State coach Brian Bohannon.
I hate this. I have seen this.
Right. So he helped build the football program from scratch and led its transition from FCS to FBS this season. They said he stepped down. He says he got fired. The school announced that he stepped down. The Owls' 48-15 record over their first 5 seasons is the best record by an FCS startup, and they're the only FCS team to have 3 straight winning seasons with at least 11 wins in their first 5 years. Do you think college coaches have less room for error now with the NIL and transfer portal and all this money that's being exchanged?
I think it's all about where you're at. That right there is asinine, though. I mean, there's no way. I mean, you got to give the guys some time when they move up. That's a big jump. And, what he had done in the past, he had proven that he could win.
Yeah.
Man, somebody needs to hire that dude quick. Hire that guy quick.
I don't imagine he's going to be on the sofa very long.
No, he's not.
Well, when we play Friday night, there's a huge boxing match being taking place in Jerry World. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. I don't want to say it's a real fight. Have you seen the? They're going to be fighting with 14-ounce gloves instead of the traditional 10, and then they're only going to fight 8 2-minute rounds instead of the 10 to 12. So that's not really a fight, but I saw where I think it was Roy Jones talked about just sparring with Tyson, and he's like, dude, he's still a beast.
Yeah,
he still will hit you as hard as you can.
Jake Paul gonna wear Mike Tyson out. I'm kidding, Mike. I'm kidding.
I don't think so. I think
unless there's a big chunk of money there, Mike is gonna wear him out.
Yeah.
At 58 years old.
There ain't no way. Well, speaking of getting wore out, it's time for touchdowns and tangents. Talking about I can brag this week.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about OU and Missouri real quick.
Had it won.
Yeah, I mean they lost 30-23. Is that a tough pill to swallow? If you're
they scored 2 touchdowns in 33 seconds. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow.
Y'all led 9-3 at halftime. Then you struggled with turnovers. You had missed chances in the second half. Missouri's offense. I mean, Drew Pine surged. He was scoring key touchdowns to take control. Despite some strong moments, Oklahoma mistakes, and Missouri's solid defense pretty much sealed the Sooners' fate.
We were up a touchdown with 2 minutes left. Man.
Hey, but I saw today where they still back your coach up there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, they're not going to let him go just yet.
No.
Probably next year.
Maybe.
If you have another year like that.
Pay Josh Heupel what he wants.
Yeah. Does he not look like Bobby Hill to you?
He kind of does.
I mean, every time I see
he doesn't
him,
look like a national championship winning quarterback.
I know. When I told Becca we were watching it one night. I was like, that dude won the Heisman, right? She's like, no way. As a lineman? I was like, no, as a quarterback.
Yeah.
He just don't look like it.
Hey, some of us like to eat.
Hey, man, I know.
2 of them sitting right here.
I love to eat.
Yeah.
Man. So I went in the casino Saturday night, came and watched it. Bama just whooped the dog out of LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Just whooped the dog
Made
out
them
of
like it.
Milroe led the way with 4 rushing touchdowns. Man, this win not only boosts our chances in the SEC, it also shows we're still a powerhouse, right?
Yeah.
And it, I think that it keeps us in the playoff conversations, but it also keeps Georgia out of the playoffs. Georgia is the first or second team out.
I was hearing something
in
about
the
that
playoffs.
today.
Yeah.
And they got Tennessee this week. They better show up correct, or they will get their feelings hurt and be sitting at the house.
Yep.
Watch it with OU.
Well, let's do some college pick'ems. You were horrible last week.
Yes.
You went 1-4.
I'm horrible every week.
No, I know, but you're over 50%.
What was yours?
I went 3-2. I missed the Tech game. Of course, I drank the Kool-Aid and went with the Oklahoma game. But I'm at 64%. You dropped down to 54%. So I'll give you.
I'm just going to tell you, I don't care how bad they are. I'm always going to pick Oklahoma. I don't care.
Well, I won't pick them no more.
I bleed Sooner red.
Well, here's some new games, right? We got Georgia's hosting number 7 Tennessee. Georgia's 10.5-point favorites. You think Kirby Smart gets them back on track?
Yeah.
So you going to go with Georgia?
I'll go with Georgia. I hope I'm wrong. Come on, Heupel.
I'll go with Georgia as well. Number 3, Texas versus Arkansas in Fayetteville.
Texas is going to beat the brakes off of Arkansas.
I think it could be closer.
So it's old rivalry, old Southwest Conference rivalry.
I mean, I'll go Texas as well. Now, I had to throw some junk games in here, okay? Because there wasn't much out there.
Is that Nebraska and SC?
Yeah. We got Nebraska at USC. USC's 9-point favorites.
Lincoln Riley's still there.
Yeah, he got in trouble this week.
What'd he do?
They got fined. So what it was is his coaches were doing individual workouts for athletes,
right,
or for players. And I guess you only have a certain amount of time that you can have individual workouts with them. And so they fined them, put them on like some type of 2-year probation or something like that.
Well,
I figured I should have put that in the news.
Yeah, that would have been good. I didn't hear about that, but I'm going with hopefully Tom Osborne comes back and leads them Nebraska Cornhuskers too.
Tommy Frazier?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
At 96 team.
Scott, what was the quarterback's name?
Frost?
Yeah, Scott Frost. He's a god-awful coach, though.
Yeah.
He's a heck of a quarterback, but he's a god-awful coach.
He was a good coach in Florida, but just not in Nebraska.
All right, so you're gonna take Nebraska?
Yep.
All right, I'll go USC. All right, number 5, 25 Tulane at Navy. Tulane 7-point favorites.
I hadn't heard much about them this year, but they're ranked 25. Man, it's hard to play that style of offense, though. You know, you got to be so disciplined. I'll go Navy.
I'll go Navy as well. And then tomorrow night, we got a Thursday night game. Tulsa, I know that says at ECU, but actually ECU is at Chapman Stadium in Tulsa. ECU is 14.5-point favorites.
All I can say is this, Tulsa, we got some kids down here you need to come back and see. Several of them. Come back and see us. These boys need some scholarships. I know nothing about East Carolina this year. You have their records?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I think.
Give me Tulsa. They're Okies. I'll take them.
All right, I'll take ECU.
So I don't think Tulsa's very good this year.
No, I'm not going to say nothing.
No,
I'm not going to bash Tulsa.
Are they over?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not going to bash them because you said, hey,
Right.
you want to come back down? I'm not going to bash them. I love Tulsa. I love Tulsa.
I do too.
All right, so let's get going. A little 2-minute drill, man. Cowboys versus Eagles.
Is it harder right now to be a Sooner fan or a Cowboys fan? There's a lot of people that are both. I'm not.
I mean, Jerry's. I mean, we're so bad. We're blaming the sunlight.
Oh, I saw that.
Right. We're so bad. We're blaming the sunlight.
Hey, that is bad in there, though.
It is, but Jerry's like, "What do you want me to do? Just tear the stadium down and build a new one?"
No, put up a curtain, Jerry.
He don't want to do that. He said that is at the bottom of the priority list right now. The only bright spot really is we could get a top 10 pick.
That's what I heard. They're going to tank the season so they can try and get, who was it? I don't know. Somebody.
Yeah. Quinn Ewers?
No.
Well, that's what I saw.
I heard Shadur and then Dion be the coach.
That would be a dumpster fire.
Ooh, I would love it.
It'd be a dumpster fire.
I would love it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, man. He's good at what he does.
Hey, if Jerry wants to make money, which that's what Jerry's about,
yeah,
you're gonna make money.
I don't know if he's gonna win a Super Bowl though.
No. I mean, he'd be a figurehead and hire good coordinators, and yeah.
I mean, look what he's done in Colorado.
No doubt.
I mean, they got a chance. I mean, they're being talked about in the playoff as well.
Yeah.
So, Chiefs at Broncos. Man, this was an exciting game. You know, Kansas City gets a late block field goal to extend their leading their record to 9-0 with a win.
Cardiac kids.
Mahomes was 28 for 42, 266 and a touchdown. How good is this Kansas City team?
I mean, they're not going to run the table.
No.
Are they good enough to win Super Bowl? Yes. Like I said, you got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. You always have a chance. But yeah, they're finding ways to win, and that says a lot about that team.
Speaking of teams that are hot, let's talk about your team.
Mm-hmm. And Russ, we trust.
Right. You know, Russell Wilson's touchdown pass to Mike Williams sealed the deal for the Steelers over the Commanders, 28-27. Did you ever question Mike Tomlin's switch from Russell Wilson over Justin Fields?
No. You don't ever question Mike Tomlin on anything.
I know. Man, just think, the Cowboys had him.
He ain't going to the Cowboys.
No, I know.
He's got the best ownership in National Football League.
So he's looking like the guy that was a star early in the career. You know, he's really good with those 50-50 deep balls that he connects on. Did you know I heard this on the radio broadcast the other day. They are set to play 4 straight divisional games.
Yes, it's fixed.
They
haven't schedule in the NFL left.
Yeah, they haven't played a divisional game all year.
Right.
They're fixing to play 4 in a row.
They have the toughest schedule in the NFL right now that's left.
Like, who pissed them off?
I know.
Or pissed the NFL off to where they got to play all their divisional games towards the end of the season. And then Lamar Jackson, man, that dude's good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
We get to play him this weekend.
Yeah. They beat the Bengals 35-34, dropping Cincy to 4-6. You know, facing his largest deficit in 3 years, Jackson led the comeback. And, man, I love watching Lamar Jackson play.
And that's the thing about, you look at that, you say Cincinnati's 4-6. But man, they've had a chance to be, 8-2 real easy.
Oh, yeah.
Real easy. They're a dangerous ball club. They're like that wounded animal.
Yeah.
They're dangerous.
And then the Sunday night game, this was probably Jared Goff's worst game as a professional quarterback. Dude threw 5 picks, and somehow, some way, Jake Bates, who this time last year was selling bricks.
Right.
Selling bricks. Kicks a 52-yard field goal as time expired. How good is this Detroit team? I think they're the best in the NFC.
That's tough. I love the Detroit Lions, what they're doing right now. I love Dan Campbell. I mean, it just depends, who's going to stay injury-free, or have the least amount of injuries going in.
Well, I can tell you who that won't be.
No, it's not going to be them Dallas Cowgirls, I'll tell you that. But they're hot right now. And once again, they're kind of like Kansas City. They're finding ways to win and win ugly.
Yeah.
And 5 picks is winning ugly. But they found a way. They got a very good defense over there.
Yep.
Very good.
So let's talk a little bit about the final rankings going into the end of the season. I mean, like you said a while ago, rankings don't mean crap once you go in the playoffs. But in the final rankings of the year, your Honey Grove Warriors moved up to the 5th spot after Stanford knocked off Holly Friday night. That was really the only change in the standings. But you got number 1 Stanford. They're going to take on Sonora, which is 5-5 on Thursday night. You got number 2 Refugio, 9-1, taking on Kennedy. They're 5-5. Sunray's going to face Olton on Thursday night. You got number 4 Ganado taking on Skidmore. Tynan, which is 2-8.
Yeah.
2-8. Okay. And then you got us taking on Elysian Fields Friday night. You got number 6 Mason taking on Rosebud Lot. Man, back in the day, Rosebud Lot, I mean, they were legit.
They've had some dudes over the years.
Yep. Number 7 Holly's going to take on Ozona, which is 7-3 Friday night. Number 8 Panhandle. They're going 9-1, going to take on New Home, which is 5-5. And then Mildred, 10-0, going to take on Rio Vista. And then number 10 Hamilton's going to face off against Whitewright, who we know really well.
Yeah, come on, Whitewright, get you one.
Right. They're going to play it in Fort Worth on Friday night. So not really any barn burners.
No.
I
mean, for a 1 versus 4 matchup, ours is probably one of the better ones in the state.
I think so too. But let's talk a little bit about playoffs. I just kind of want to go over. Let's just kind of break down how the playoffs work. Top 4 teams in each district qualify. The divisions are pre-split. Okay, so you got Division 1,
sure.
Division 2, Division 3, Division 4. So we are in the Division 3. Okay. Teams are placed in their division bracket 6 rounds, finishing at state championships at AT&T Stadium on December 18th through the 21st. So let's look at our bracket real quick. Our region, to me, is loaded.
Region of Doom.
I keep hearing Region 1, Region 4. But I truly think that our region is loaded. I mean, we got Wascom, we got Timpson, we have Garrison, Beckville, Shelbyville. I mean, heck, even Cooper.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they could possibly go 3 or 4 rounds.
Yep.
Right? But how good are those teams in our region?
I'll put it this way. We were talking as a staff, and, we had the bracket up, and Coach Wiggins looked and said, we're going to have to play banger after banger after banger if we keep playing. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's no weak sisters in that unless somebody gets upset, which could happen, But but the way it looks, I mean, you fix to have to go play every week.
Yeah, I mean.
That's the way it should be.
Well, I mean, it's not like by no means is this group looking ahead.
No.
We're 1 game at a time. I mean, that's the way you've been ever since I've known you. 1 game at a time, 1 play at a time, Yep,
100%.
And so we got to take care of Elysian Fields Friday night. Possibly you could have a rematch, round 2.
Yep.
With Timpson. Last year we got them in the 3rd round. This year we could possibly get them in the 2nd round.
And they're getting healthy.
Would you be excited to play Timpson again?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Well,
we played Centerville 2 years in a row and got our head popped that first year, and we come back and beat them the 2nd year.
Yeah. This year they ain't got Terry Bussey though.
No.
They got J.J. Garner.
They got J.J. Garner.
and that dude How many touchdowns did he have against us last year?
6.
Yeah. I mean,
he's a wrecking ball,
absolutely.
man. He is.
Absolutely. So, well, Dave Campbell's, I mean, a lot of my information I get is coming from Dave Campbell. So they do Texas football. Those guys do a great job. So they put out their 2A playoff picks, regional picks, all but one person. Come on, Greg Tepper, you got to get on board, man.
Yeah.
Got to get on board. But you called this the Region of Doom. And I was listening to L4 Sideline to Sideline 2A show last night, and they're kind of split on us being regional champs, but they have us facing Beckville in the finals. But Dave Campbell's Texas football picked us to win the region and ultimately face either Refugio or Ganado, but one game at a time.
One at a time.
Right, one game at a time. So,
especially in this region, you better take it one at a time.
Yep. So, well, Coach, I'm going to take a quick timeout real quick. I know you got a very important meeting tonight. You got some food that you got to go eat.
Yes, sir.
Are you preparing it?
No, I'm not. This is one of them deals I just get to sit back and enjoy.
Well, that's good. That's good. We'll go enjoy that, and we'll see you Friday night.
No, that sounds good.
In Maybank. But we'll be right back on the Shane Fletcher Show.
Go Warriors.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm back. Coach Fletch had to go get ready for his important meeting tonight. But you can follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. We're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to kind of change the tide a little bit. We're going to talk about girls basketball. Man, these group of girls, man, I've been watching them for so long. But let's talk a little Lady Warrior basketball. Lady Warriors are 2-2 on the season, picking up their second win of the season last night against the Howell Lady Bulldogs. Lady Warriors coming off a 1-point loss at home Saturday against Bells. They came out pretty explosive Tuesday night, beating Howell 74-31. The Lady Warriors were led by senior Casey Woodard. She had 24 points, followed by Ellie Lane with 17, and then sophomore Lily Mahan had 12. So the Lady Warriors are going to be off until next Thursday, as they're going to be in the Saltillo tournament. Don't really know their schedule just yet. That's really going to be based off of the if we are to make it to the second round. We don't know if we're going to play on Thursday or Friday, but you know, they're looking to start the Saltillo tournament out with Chisholm, and then they have hooks, and then they have ropes, and then they have cartridge. And then just kind of moving right along here, we're going to talk about the band. Congratulations to our band. They had, man, just a remarkable season. Congratulations to them. They competed in the UIL state band competition yesterday, so guys, all of us at Tomahawk Sports Media would just like to tell you how proud of you we are, and congratulations on a great season. Here's another guy, man. I just want to really tell him, you know, we miss you and we're praying for you. Terry Paul, if you're watching, man, you're truly the voice of Honey Grove Warrior football, and we can't wait to see you back in the press box next season. Hopefully you can watch the Warriors play on Friday night, and we're wishing you well. I hope you get back to full duty. And then sponsors, I'd really just like to thank our sponsors this year. These guys have done a great job for us, helping us, supporting us. But just I just want to go down the list real quick. Hidden Grove RV Park, Small Town Charm, Whitlock Air Services, The Rails, Jake Shockley Insurance, the Credit Union of Texas, Bryant Construction, the Trailer Guys, Bloodworth Services, Honey Grove Library Learning Center, Tyndall Meat Company, Moe's Trophies, Salon L, First Baptist Church of Honey Grove, Moon Mart, Cattlemen's Livestock Commission, Right On Roofing out of Celeste, eagerly sought, and a Deckard realtor with On Point Properties. We've got 903 Threads, Ted Varner Farm Bureau, Gaither's Complete Welding, Fannin Bank, FBC Roofing, Maxlock Cattle Company, Rapid Relief Mobile IV, Massey Monument Leveling, Leeton Services, and Sportsman's Taxidermy. Thank you guys so much for being sponsors this year. We're also looking for sponsors for the 2024-2025 football or basketball season. Let us help grow your business by our outstanding digital media platforms. Email us today at tomahawksportsmedia@gmail.com. So now we're going to get in our little victory formation. All right, we're going to wrap up the show. Just a friendly reminder that Friday night's game is going to be broadcasted on Honey Grove ISD's Facebook page. We're also looking to get it on the YouTube channel through the school. Zach and Gervy are going to be on the call for that game. Can't wait to have those two guys back in the booth. Like I said, the Lady Warriors are off till next Thursday, going to be in the Saltillo tournament. The Honey Grove Beta Club is doing a food drive this week. Tomorrow is Dynamic Duo Day, right? So that's pretty fun. So any non-perishable and non-expired food items will be taken throughout the week at each campus. Your donation will help many families in the Honey Grove community. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for the Shane Fletcher Show. Thank you to everyone tonight that's joined us. Also, want to give a shout-out to our parents for supplying the guys, feeding the guys and coaches every week. Thank you for all that you do there. Becca, Matt, Gary, Paige, Valerie. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but thank you guys for taking care of the boys tonight. I'm sure those guys appreciate it. But, guys, man, like I told Coach Fletcher, I hope we can do 16 of these. I'd love it. So I'm going to tell you this. Go Big Orange. Warriors fight. Go Warriors. We'll see you next week on the Shane Fletcher Show. Scotty Mahan with Tomahawk Sports Media, sponsored by Hidden Grove RV Park. See you Friday night.